Hey, sweet faces, welcome to this week's homework where we are looking at quadrilaterals. For our first page, our goal is to identify these quadrilaterals. So we're going to start off by looking at some of their characteristics and talking about what that means. So if we're looking at this first one, our opposite sides are congruent or equal. We have four right angles, which means that this would be a rectangle. Opposite sides are congruent. We have two pairs of parallel sides. All four corners are a right angle. Over here, we have four congruent or four equal sides, four right angles. This is a square. Down here, it looks like a square that got a shove, right? The difference is these angles, they're not right angles, but all of our sides are equal or congruent. This is a rhombus, also known as a lazy square. It's a square that can't keep its right angles. Up here, we have what looks like a diamond. It has four congruent sides. It has a lack of right angles. So you might have called it a diamond, but you could also call this a rhombus. This is another version of a rhombus. Remember, in order to be a rhombus, it just has to have four sides that are equal in length and not have right angles. So this one here, this is going to also be called a rhombus. Down here, this is the one that we did those goofy drawings for, and we said, don't get trapped by the trapezoid. This is a trapezoid. I know it because I have one pair of parallel sides. I don't have any congruent sides on the top and bottom, but I do have congruent sides on the side. That makes this a trapezoid. A trapezoid. Over here, I have four sides, which makes it a quadrilateral. Two are equal here, two are equal here. This is called a kite. Any questions on these? Please bring them with you to class. All right, down on your next page, your goal is to draw a picture of these quadrilaterals. So for a square, I have to have four equal sides with right angles. For a parallelogram does not have to have equal sides. So I can have two longer sides and two shorter sides for a parallelogram. Trapezoid, top side is short, bottom side is long, and I don't have parallel sides on the end. A kite looks just like a kite. A rhombus is a lazy square, so equal sides, but with a lean. And then our last one, a rectangle, two short sides, two long sides, right angles, and two pairs of parallel sides. Do your best. They don't have to be perfect. Any questions on these? Bring them with you to class. All right, this time we are doing interior or inside angles, and we're deciding if they're acute, right, or obtuse. So we have two obtuse angles. We could draw grown-ups on vacation, and two acute angles or pinchy grandma fingers. Here we have obtuse, 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 and acute. Remember, when in doubt, sketch it out. It's a square, which means all four have to be right. It's a parallelogram, acute and cute, obtuse, obtuse, opposite angles match. It's a rectangle, which means all of my edges, all of my angles have to be at right angles. And then we have obtuse, obtuse, acute, acute. Any questions on these? Bring them with you to class. Down here, we are looking at parallel lines. Remember, parallel lines continue on forever without crossing. If we look at our kite, it does not have any parallel lines. These cross here, these cross here. And if we followed on our outside lines, they are going to cross as well because of the slant. Here we have one pair of parallel sides on our trapezoid. Rectangle has two pairs, across and sides. Two pairs. Down here, two pairs again, across and sides coming down to our square, 2 pairs across and sides. Last one pair, top and bottom. If we look at our sides, this one has an angle, which means that it is eventually going to meet our other side. So these only, or this shape, I should say, only has one pair of parallel sides. Any questions on these? Bring them to class. All right, Nuggets, our last page. This is a huge stretch. So if you did not get this, that is okay. This is taking what we've talked about and putting it into words. And when we put it into words, it makes it the most difficult because we're having to think about it really hard in a different way. But just in case you did get this far, let's talk about it. Opposite sides are equal. Opposite sides have to be equal. The opposite sides are parallel. So these are parallel and these are parallel. And it has 4 90-degree angles. For this one, you could say that it was a rectangle. If you said a square, that would also be okay. 2 pairs of adjacent, meaning next to each other sides that are the same length. So adjacent, adjacent. No parallel lines. This is a kite. This is a kite. 1 pair of opposite sides that are parallel. Its interior angles are 2 acute and 2 obtuse. These are obtuse, obtuse, acute, acute. It's a trapezoid. It's a trapezoid. All 4 sides are equal in length. Opposite sides are parallel. Opposite angles are equal, but not 90 degrees. So 4 equal sides, but not 90 degrees. This is going to be a rhombus. This is a rhombus. 2 pairs of parallel sides, opposite angles are equal, but not 90 degrees. This is going to be a parallelogram. And then our last one, all 4 sides are equal, opposite sides are parallel, 4 90-degree angles, it's a square. Again, if you did not get this, that is okay. This was a really, really big stretch, but I wanted to try something difficult and see how you did with it. Any questions on these, love? Bring them with you to class.